time for our featured speaker today. She is an 11-star diamond coach. You guys, she's been coaching 3 years, and she is uh, already qualified for Elite for 2021. So we are excited to be calling her name again at the end of the year or top of the year. She's currently ranked number 36 in the company. So she has been pushing really hard this year, and she's a Success Club 10 All-Star. You guys, she's from Danville, Pennsylvania. Janelle Sheesley, come on in. Hi, Janelle.
Hi,
How
everybody.
are you? Oh, look, I get to see the clock on the East Coast there. See what time it is. Perfect timing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You look amazing. It's been a pleasure working with you this past week on your story, and I want everyone, there are a lot of new people on the wake up call this morning. So I'd like you to share for us today what brought you to Beachbody 3 years ago.
All right. Hello, everybody. And again, thank you so much for having me. Like I said, I've been a coach for 3 years. And prior to coaching, I was actually following my childhood dream of becoming an elementary teacher. So I did the thing. I went to college. I graduated at the top of my class. I landed a job right out of college. And I discovered very quickly that it wasn't what I hoped for. So I went back to my roots of waitressing and bartending. And at the time, I was traveling with my husband, and we were in West Virginia. And I could remember this day. I was 20 weeks pregnant. I had that moment that I'm about to give up my unborn child to a complete stranger. Because like I said, we were traveling. I had no friends. I had no family near me. And it just hit me. My story is not your typical story. Actually, I'm a very intuitive person, and my intuition just told me that I needed to coach. Now, understand, I had no idea what coaching was. I knew of one chick from my hometown posting on her social media about her sweaty selfies and her workouts. And I reached out to her and I told her, hey, I don't know why, but I'm pulled into coaching for some reason. So I'm just going to follow my gut and I'm going to sign up. So I dove in completely blind. My thought process was, well, I'm pregnant. If I'm going to hold myself accountable with this platform, at least it can help me transition into the postpartum journey. But within a few weeks, I felt this fire in me that I've never felt before with any other career. And I realized that this was my passion. And I finally, after years of struggling, discovered my purpose in life. And so I got to be introduced to my upline coaches. And I realized what the business has done for them and their families. And that's when it clicked. And I said, why can't I do the same? Why not? We all start from square one. Why can't I accomplish what they have accomplished? And so I put my head down, put my blinders on, and went to town, and I haven't looked back since. My first goal was to obviously replace my waitressing income so I could be home with my baby. And like I said, I saw what the business did for many other coaches. So now I'm only dreaming bigger, and it's all thanks to Beachbody.
Thank you for sharing that. And I know that there are people who are starting today, and I want you to not think about her, Janelle's success, 3 years later, where she's at. I just read off all her accolades because she had a start also. And one of the things that she learned from the start was to invite to groups. Okay. Now that is what her topic is today is what you're going to be doing as a coach is finding people to join your groups or attracting people to join your groups. So it's finding people, going out and being proactive about finding people in your first few months in the business. After that, it kind of shifts over and people start coming to you. They start seeing what you're doing. So I am going to let Janelle have the floor here and talk about this topic in particular and what she's been doing to find success. Okay.
Thank you. So guys, the way that I started my journey and where I'm at now is completely different. So The way I track people is mainly through Instagram. I feel like I use Facebook as well, but I feel like I can really narrow down my audience through hashtags on Instagram. I feel like I can have that connection and really resonate with the people that are like me. But in the beginning of my journey, I was actually following top coaches and mimicking what they were doing because they were successful and I wanted to be successful. And when I say mimicking, I don't mean that I was copying and pasting. I was watching their stories. I was watching how they were posting, what they were sharing, what their photos looked like. Because, like I said, I saw they were being successful and I wanted that, but it clicked with me. They're being successful because they are being unapologetically themselves. They are being authentic. They are attracting their people for that very reason. So when that clicked, I just put up, like I said, my blinders. I stayed in my lane. I stopped watching other coaches and I started to find out who I truly was as a person. And I started to embrace myself because before that, I was trying to be a people pleaser. I was trying to do all of the things to please other people. And I realized, you know what? I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. So I started to focus on Instagram. I started to narrow down my people through hashtags, and I started to make those connections. And I can tell you, it is so much easier to have a conversation with somebody that you resonate with, that you are basically soul sisters, as I call them, because we're just having that natural flow of conversation. And they're showing up in my stories. They see what I'm doing. And the nice thing is we're already having this conversation and we're already making those connections. It's so much ease because we're basically virtual best friends. And then they see me posting my fitness. They see me posting about my business. And I do a call to action almost every other day. Every other day, I am doing a call to action. So what I'm also doing through like finding myself, embracing who I am, stop mimicking what other people were doing, I started to do a lot of like bringing energy to the table because I think energy is absolutely contagious and people want to be around those who are extremely positive and excited. So I thought, how could I do this with my business? And then I'm like, well, my boot camps, I can start hyping them up. So this year I started to talk more about my boot camps. I started to show the excitement. And what I like to do just to keep it fresh is I have a boot camp every single month just to bring that fresh energy to the table, just to have something new to talk about and just start clean. So with that being said, some of the things that I do to bring that excitement, to bring that hype within my boot camps is that I share a lot of transformations from my clients, myself. I'll share non-scale victories. I will share what I call love messages. So essentially that's when a client of mine will reach out and say, thank you so much for being an amazing coach. I'm so glad I joined your boot camps. Anything like that, I will share because now my followers that are not in my camps yet, they will see what kind of coach I am. They'll see how my clients are loving it. They will see the kind of boot camps I'm running and they will want to be a part of that. That curiosity is now sparked. For an example of what I do to share. So recently, one of my clients in my boot camps posted a picture, a transformation picture of herself. And she said, I went on a hike and I was actually able to keep up with my husband without being winded. And I'm 4 pant sizes down. So what I did is I screenshotted it. I put it in my stories. I make it anonymous by clearing out her name. And I will put some text in there just saying, hard work pays off. This is what happens when you join my boot camps. And I will always put music to it. If you follow me, you always know I have music because I love it so much. It's a part of me, but it also brings up that excitement. So now they're seeing this, they're seeing that excitement, they're feeling it, they're being a part of it because they get to see what's going on in my boot camps. And it just naturally sparks that curiosity and that excitement. So that's a way that I bring that to the table. It creates that FOMO, which is a fear of missing out. People want to be involved. People want to be a part of a community. And if I can show that community I have built, they can see that and get a sneak peek without actually committing. So a few ways that I do that would be I bring value to the table. I share recipes. I share meal plans. I will share again my clients' victories. I will share those love messages. I even share when people make that commitment to join my camps. So let's just say they, check out, they say, okay, I'm done. I'm so excited to start my journey. What's next? I will take that little clip and I will put it in my stories, because now my audience see that people are reaching out to me, that people are committing to my camps, that it's not all bogus. And so it breaks down that wall for them to have that comfortable conversation and allow them to reach out to me. So again, I bring that, sorry, go ahead, Sandy.
No, it's all good. I want you to just take one sentence and describe boot camps. I think people may be getting confused that it's the name for your challenge groups, right?
Oh, yes, sorry, yes.
No, that's okay. So your boot camps are what you're inviting to, which is your challenge groups.
Yes, correct. Yep, exactly.
Keep going.
And like I said, I do them every single month just to have that fresh group, that fresh energy. If somebody joins me midway, we're all on the same page. And it allows me to have a conversation in my stories every single day, and it allows it to change it up. So again, I bring that excitement by sharing a lot of victories. I will try to shout out every single day or every other day with my clients. And then it brings that that FOMO, the fear of missing out. And then the last thing is the call to actions. Like I said, I post them consistently every single day or every other day, right after my workout clips or right after a client transformation. It allows my audience to engage and react with what I am sharing. And so they come in, they're watching me. We already have something in common. They see that I'm hosting these challenge groups, these boot camps, and they now know that they are invited. Because if we don't have that call to action, they don't realize that they can also join the fun. So I always have that, because we should always be expanding our network. So they see that, right? Whether it's somebody that's been with me for a year watching, it takes like 7 times, I've read before, in order for it to click with somebody. And again, new followers, we all need to be on the same page. You're just jumping in the middle of it. They don't realize that I can help them. Another thing that I do, if it's not a call to action, is I always at the end of my post just say something really small, like, I'm always a message away to help. I'm always here. You can slide into my inbox. I will always post that at the end of my post, just so they know that that's what I am here for, to help them achieve their goals, and that I am a committed coach when it comes to their personal fitness goals. So sharing all of that, bringing that excitement to the table and with my boot camps has really helped me find my people by embracing who I am instead of being a people pleaser, and just bringing that excitement, like I said, again, to the table.
Okay, excellent. Before we get into the close of the call, explain call to action. So that is just something that gets people to react to something.
Yes. So like I said, for example, how in your stories you can do like the polls, the yes, the no's. So I will tell a story. What I like to do is I like to tell a story through my workout clips. Let's just say today is Monday. I used to be that person that would always say, I'm never going to miss a Monday. And then here I am struggling again. So I will tell that story. And then at the end, I'll be like, do you want to commit? Is it one day or day one? And so I'll have those kind of call to actions or more information or details, or I'm ready as my polls that they can respond to, and then I can reach out to and share the information when it comes to
Okay, so it's to get a reaction, it's to get them to play along, it's to get them to engage. You also talked a lot about energy and excitement, and you obviously have a lot of energy and excitement. So what do you say to the people who are not as maybe, vocal about their passion as you are? Can people share that energy and excitement if they are not like you?
Yes, I truly believe that. I think what I always come down to is, we all have those days, or if you're just not that kind of person, that's fine. But think about, what has Beachbody done for you? What has Beachbody done for you, your clients, your family, your friends, whomever? And go into that conversation and that mindset, because I don't know about you, but Beachbody has done it has changed my life, a complete 180. So I go into that mindset, I will think about it, and then I go into that mindset with those conversations or within my stories. But you can always, even if you're not sharing a lot of stories with you videotaping, you can still share that excitement through your text on your stories, through your posts, or through like music and everything else. There's always ways to show it without having to be overly enthusiastic.
Okay, that's how an extrovert explains it to introverts. So I know that. The last thing I wanted to mention, you talk about FOMO, okay, fear of missing out, and in the last 6 or 7 months, we've all been missing out. Okay, we've all been quarantined. We've all been, there's no pictures of huge parties anymore. So the party is virtual. The party is the challenge group, or what you call the boot camp. And
Mhm.
so you're creating something where people want to be part of your community, your team, right? Is that what you're describing as fear of missing out? Is you're creating such a great fun environment that people want to be a part of that?
Correct. Yes. They see, like I said, they see this community of women, of strong women getting together and lifting each other up and nothing but positivity, helping each other achieve their goals, helping each other when they're down. They're seeing that because I do provide like a little bit of sneak peeks within my camps by just like screenshotting different stuff. So they see that sense of community and what we are building, and they now know that they can be a part of it. So yes, even like just sharing when you do the workout calls. I know a lot of us, we'll get together on Saturdays, we'll do the Zoom workout calls. They see all of those sense of community, and people want to be a part of that.
Okay, Janelle, you brought up so many good angles of coaching that new people that are coming to Beachbody are starting to piece together. Because, we talk a lot in acronyms here at Beachbody. And if you haven't been a coach for a very long time, you may not know what SC is, Success Club. But I think that in 3 years, or I know this, you have worked really hard to get to where you're at, and you're still having so much fun with it. In fact, you're learning so much about yourself that it's making you feel empowered to be unapologetically you. So I want to congratulate you for that, because that is a really important thing to mention. Going into the closing of the wake up call today, you've been a coach for 3 years. What has been the most fulfilling for you in these last 3 years?
So when it's a difficult question because Beachbody has changed my life a complete 180. If you didn't know me prior to Beachbody, I'm a completely different person. I mean, it has helped me. And I'm in the best shape of my life after 2 babies. I'm able to stay home with them. The financial aspect of it is huge. Before I was struggling, working full time, struggling just to get by. But honestly, what it boils down to is the biggest accomplishment that I have achieved within Beachbody is that I've discovered and have become the woman I was always meant to be. I was never confident before. I was never this bubbly or energetic. I actually had very low self-worth, and I didn't know what my purpose was. Beachbody made me really focus on myself physically and mentally, and because of that, it has helped me become the woman I am today. So it's the greatest gift that I could have got.
Thank you. Thank you. That was really beautiful. Well said. And I appreciate you breaking it down for this audience. And I know that people who are just learning about coaching, you don't need to know it all today. You don't need to be perfect, but you
No.
do need to be consistent in wanting this and wanting to do it every day, to make it something big like Janelle has. So thank you so much, Janelle.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on. And, I have a coach affirmation for you guys today, and that is be the energy you want to attract. Now, the reason why you have to read this again, be the energy you want to attract. She found a way to be herself, unapologetically her, and she was attracting people like her. You don't have to be like her. You need to be like you. You will attract the energy that you put out. I'm really happy that you joined us today and can't wait for you to start pushing it and being consistent with your business. I appreciate all of you. See you here next week. Bye bye.